Oh yeah, bro. I'm so lucky to have my family and mentors and friends around me. I was always like confused why people didn't live their dreams. I was always like, what? It's so obvious. Just go live your dreams. So easy. Like, just do it. Like, what the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
But then I started, doing this project. I've become way more empathetic to the fact that I was brought up in a middle class white family, had lots of opportunity, parents that supported me. Not everyone has that, and not everyone has teachers that support them or mentors. So that's really what I want this project to be.
Right.
If I can be that voice to just say, I believe in your dream, that you might be the only person that ever says that to someone.
Yeah.
And that might be the thing that gets them taking one step forward.
Yep. Hello and welcome to The Human Now, where we're discussing ideas around what it means to be in this state of time and, more importantly, to make positivity louder. My name is Akash, and today I'm so excited to introduce our guest on the podcast. I'll just talk about a little bit how I was introduced to him before I actually introduce who he is. So I was introduced to him through a mate, and I was actually introduced to his work. And when I saw his work, I was actually just caught off guard. One, I was caught off guard. Two, I was inspired. And then three, I was like, man, I need to get around this energy. I need to just, I want to help. I felt like I needed to help and just help make his message bigger. And so in saying that, I'd like for you guys who are listening and watching to meet Fraser.
What's up, man?
Fraser Grut, and his movement and his work is called the 10,000 Dreams Project.
It is, bro.
And yeah, when I heard about this, I got caught off guard by the 10,000 dreams. And when you actually think about, because I've always heard about the 10,000 hours it takes to master an ability or something. And so, yeah, when I saw 10,000 dreams, man, I was like recording a dream for every, recording 10,000 dreams, right? So a dream a day. That for me, that was huge. That was absolutely just like,
thank you, man.
Wow. And so before we get into the discussion and where we're going to head today, there's one question we always start off with.
Not the human now one. Oh,
not
no.
Not the human now.
I haven't got an answer yet for that. I was like, that's such a big question. Okay, phew.
So the question is, do you fold or scrunch?
Do I fold or scrunch in the toilet? I used to scrunch. No, I used to scrunch. I still probably scrunch more. Yeah.
Scrunch?
I've gone more to the fold section, but I scrunched my whole life. Yeah. Probably in the middle at the moment. I'm a little more classier now than I used to be.
Any reason for that change?
Recommendations. Apparently you use less toilet paper.
If you fold.
Yeah.
Economic.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah.
Smoother.
Yeah.
I didn't think you'd ask this. Okay, that caught me off guard.
So the reason I do that is just to
that's cool.
Bring everyone onto the same level and, man, we're just human after all, So in saying that, today's discussion will sort of center around your project, but more importantly also what it takes to actually be doing this. It's like a lifelong commitment, and then also the birth of where this has all come from.
Yeah, man.
Because there's like a huge evolution, I think, in your growth, and then I think from where you're going to as well.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
So yeah, man, do you want to start off with just introducing and letting the people know what the 10,000 Dreams Project is?
Yeah, so you basically said it, man. It's filming one person's dream every single day for 10,000 days, which is 27 and a half years. I started it December the 8th, 2016, 22. My last day doing this is April 25th, 2044 at the age of 50. Haven't missed a day since. I've done it for 1,155 days today. And essentially it started as a bet with a mate. We were just getting a drink and he was going to the States for 6 months. And I was like, dude, every day in America, you should ask someone what their favorite ice cream flavor is. And then that somehow led to you should ask someone what their dream in life is.
Yep.
And I was trying to get him to do it. And he was kind of like, maybe. And I was like, that's a pretty good idea. How about I bet you I'll do it for 1 year. And somehow stumbled into my life calling, man.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's 10,000 days is on day 244. I was reaching out to Jacinda Ardern's team just before she became Prime Minister. And I had 100 days left, and I knew they'd say no because it wasn't big enough, the idea. So in the email, I just basically bullcrapped her.
Yeah.
And said, I'm doing it for 10,000 days. And
Yeah.
I just made it seem like this crazy, huge project. And I was like, let's just see what happens. And they came back saying they'll do it. And so I quickly went on Instagram and changed the name to 10,000 Days Dreams, which shocked everyone in my life around me.
Yeah, what'd they say?
Like, what the heck, bro?
Yeah. Like, what did mum and dad say?
Well, I guess I've always done crazy stuff,
Cool.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, years ago, I used to write out the Bible every morning. Like, I
Wow.
would word for word, and I did 240 pages.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. There's just something I love. If things are too easy, I get bored. I
Yeah.
love crazy ideas.
Right.
Like I found it easier writing the Bible by hand than reading it every morning,
Whoa.
which seems weird, but
Yep.
and I fizzled off that a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize when I said 10,000 that it was 27 and a half years.
Yeah.
Literally, I thought, well, that would probably be 5 years maybe max.
Yep.
But I just thought 10,000 dreams sounded cool. You know, better than 1,000 dreams
Exactly.
or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is my life mission, man. This is what I do every day now. And
Yeah.
it's opened up unbelievable doors for me, taken me around the world essentially, put me in rooms with some of those influential people in the world. It's changed my outlook on life. It's changed me as a person. Yeah.
Sick, man.
Yeah, man.
So just also, what was the thought process from when you realized, like, damn, this is a 10,000 day commitment, and I'm going to be this old. Like, I actually have to do this every day.
Yeah.
How long was that period, and how long did that take you to kind of decide this is? I've asked her. She's
Yeah.
like, yeah, cool. And I've gone and changed it. Now I actually have to commit to this. What was that process like?
It was actually the first 244 days. Up until I changed that, it was 10 times harder than it's been since.
Right.
So doing it for 1 year felt like the longest time ever. I
Yeah.
was counting down the days. It was such a burden. I was just mainly, for the first 100 days, I was just filming family and friends, and
Yeah.
I was lazy as with it. Like, I didn't put any effort into how I filmed it. It was, one day I filmed a pug's dream and just added
Yeah.
subtitles, which just still goes down as the most embarrassing dream I've ever filmed. That was the wake-up call I had.
Yeah.
It was so tough. And as soon as I changed the mindset to I'm doing this for half my life,
Right.
it became so much easier
Yeah.
because it felt bigger. It felt like it had more purpose now.
Yep.
Rather than just being a bet with a mate, it was now, well, this is a mission in life. This is like climbing Mount Everest now. And I guess that's the way I'm wired.
Yeah.
When it's bigger picture stuff, I get way more excited. Smaller scale stuff, I struggle with, and I've always struggled with.
Yep.
So, yeah, it is. But in saying that, it is definitely tough doing this. I've wanted to quit so many times. There's been days where I basically said I'm quitting because of bad experiences with dreams and
Right.
times where, my nana died and, I was 11 p.m. at night and I hadn't filmed a dream. And I was like, nah, I'm done. I quit.
Yeah.
But, luckily those around me support me and push me.
Yeah.
I'll get hard. There'll be walls. I'll hit. I know I'll
I
hit.
think as you also progress through life and life
You'll
happens,
hit
right?
massive brick walls. I think once you get to that 5K mark,
Yep.
you'll be like, oh my gosh.
I'm only halfway.
I'm halfway and this has been 13 and a half years, 14 years of my life.
Yeah.
But I know at the end of my life, I can't wait for the time when I'm 50 onwards will be the next chapter of my life. And I can look back and you've done something like this where I'd be so proud of this. Yeah.
It's huge, eh?
Okay.
It's huge when you look into the future and what the possibilities
Yeah.
of it could actually be, right?
Absolutely, man.
Do you feel like you've embodied an identity of being a dreamer?
Yeah, I have now. And it's funny because you kind of can't not pursue your dream now because you're essentially the dream guy. So how ironic would it be if I was not chasing my dream and not, it'd be so weird.
Yeah.
But it's good. I've kind of forced myself into a situation where I have to chase my dream in
Right.
order to prove that you can and that this is why I'm doing this project because I really believe we can live our dreams. But this is ever since I was a kid, I knew what my dream was when I was 7 years old. I want to be the greatest filmmaker ever.
Yep.
So I've always believed in dreams. I've always had a family that supported me towards dreams. So I've always had that dream mindset. So it's not like it suddenly turned on a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's always been me.
Yeah.
And it's finally now I'm expressing that.
Yeah.
And the thing that I feel gifted at, which is film.
Cool.
You know?
Do you want to talk about going through uni and your movie?
Yeah,
all
man.
of that, because I feel like that was quite a pivotal moment, right? Which kind of
bro. Because I essentially
projected you on this.
Yeah,
right?
I essentially failed my dream, and at the age of 23, I failed my dream because when I was 7, I told everyone I'd win an Oscar at 23.
Yeah.
First at film school, I was 16 years old. I was the youngest one there by nearly 2 years, and I told the whole class of 80 people. Basically, we went around the circle, and the lecturer said, "What's your dream in film?" And most people were just like, "I'm not sure yet, or maybe do a TV show one day." And I said, "I'm going to win an Oscar at 23," and they all laughed at me. And then the last day of film school, 3 years later, I said the same thing, and this time they didn't laugh, and they said, "Hey, we actually think you could do it."
Yeah.
So I left film school and spent a year and a half producing and directing my first feature film, Sirenia. We raised about 100K from family and friend donations. And
Was that hard?
I don't know. When you're young, people want to help you out.
Yeah.
I found it's actually easy when you're young. The older you get, it's harder to get people on board, I find.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, "Oh, we'll help you out." You're like 19 making a film.
Yeah.
That was hard because I blew most of that money on stuff we didn't need for the film because...
Right.
When you're 19 and you got all this money for a film, you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So you just spend it on stupid stuff. So we wasted like 80% of that budget.
Whoa.
Not like on stuff like food or something, just stuff we didn't really need. And if we had been more prepped, we would have utilized it way more. Anyway, so that came out at Rialto Cinemas, August 2015. And this was when I was like, yeah, this is it. This film's going to be the thing that's going to get me in Hollywood. I'm going to win an Oscar in a few more years. And it just, bombed. Nothing came from it. No one really knew about it. No one was interested in hearing about it. And it just completely shook me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've spent a year and a half on this and nothing's come from it.
And
in hindsight, a lot came from it, learning wise. Yeah. But then, I then went into a period for about 6 months where I quit film. And I failed my dream. And then when I turned 23, that was the moment I was, I'm not going to win an Oscar at 23. Luckily, I realized that wasn't the right dream, my dream was all about being young, famous and successful and winning trophies, which was super shallow.
Yeah.
And that was around the time when I turned 20, when I was turning 23, late 22s, that's when I started 10,000 Dreams. And suddenly my dream became more about helping others dream. And in doing so, it's helped me achieve my dream of filmmaking. And it's opened up doors that have now allowed me to do filmmaking on a level that I wouldn't have imagined a few years ago. So it's my dream has completely changed, thank goodness, because I think if I'd won an Oscar at 23, I wouldn't be a good person right now.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be. I know that for sure. Yeah.
It takes a lot to reflect and to kind of, admit that, this is like, I would not be who I am today, eh?
Yeah, man. But if you had told me when I was 19, on 6 years' time, you'll be doing this as your thing, as your job, essentially, I probably would have been like, oh, no. I want to just be directing movies. I don't want to be doing that. What? Filming people's dreams. What? That's so tight,
Yeah.
But to me now, this is the thing that gets me excited. My passion has almost moved away from narrative filmmaking more to this now, which is really weird. I never would have thought that would have happened.
Yeah.
It's just way more fulfilling, helping other people live their dreams or even think about their dreams. That's the thing that gets me excited now.
Yeah. So why do you think dreams are important? And do you think a lot of people dream?
Nah, a lot of people don't dream, man. That's the thing I've realized.
Yeah.
I think everyone has a dream. Most people don't ever tell anyone about it. I think a lot of people were scared to admit their dreams, scared to pursue them because they don't want to fail. Yep. Maybe their family, their parents are pushing them into, you've got to be this rather than a lot of people chase dreams like, I want to be a sports star, I want to be an actor, because they think they'll get famous that way, but they're not gifted at that, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why when you go, oh, you know, it's like a 1 in a million chance you'll make it in the film industry. It's because 98% of them probably aren't meant to be in the film industry.
Right.
You know? I think too, as a culture that, you know, when you go to school, when you go to uni, it's more around how do you get a job now? How do you, you know, go for job interview rather than building your life? How do you chase a dream as your plan A?
Yeah.
It's always,
because you don't get taught in school, right?
No.
No one's like, okay, what's your dream? And now how do you actually work towards achieving it?
So I think it's the culture too, man. Dreams are so important, man. I think that's like the thing that brings the world alive, eh? It's like, it makes the world magical. And it makes you have a purpose, something to fight for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think the culture is a huge thing that's stopping people from dreaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you find that varies between different ages? Like, do you find maybe kids might be more...
Oh, kids, 100%. Like, the second I ask a kid what their dream is, they go straight away to, like, astronaut, superhero, like, president. And then when you ask teenagers, it's more realistic, like, you know, it'd be cool to do this, but, you know, I need to go study. And, you know, like it's... And then when you ask people, you know, 30s, 40s, 50s, it's usually always around family or, you know, stuff like that. And then when they're, like, 70 up, it's all around legacy and helping others and, you know, that stuff. So it's really the kids that are jumping at the big dreams, you know. So it's interesting to find out at what point they kind of stop dreaming like that, or when they're told not to, you know, like you'll never be an astronaut. You can't, you know. Yeah.
Do you feel like that has to do a lot with the environment that they're in?
Yeah, man. I definitely think
like
so.
People.
Yeah.
Because like if you could imagine yourself, you know, like your essentially your dream didn't go to plan, but then you had like the people around you to help support you get through that, right?
Oh yeah, bro. I'm so lucky to have my family and mentors and friends around me. I was always like confused why people didn't live their dreams. I was always like, what? It's so obvious. Just go live your dreams. So easy. Like just do it. Like what the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
But then I started, you know, doing this project. I've become way more empathetic to the fact that I was brought up in a middle-class white family, had lots of opportunity, parents that supported me. Not everyone has that, and not everyone has teachers that support them or mentors. So that's really what I want this project to be.
Right.
If I can be that voice to just say, I believe in your dream, you might be the only person that ever says that to someone. Yeah. And that might be the thing that gets them taking one step forward.
Yep.
You know?
That was kind of like with The Human Now as well. Like after, like I was telling you before, you know, how we kind of took a break, and it was only through seeing, when I was introduced to your work, where it clicked for me too. It was like, man, this has to be so much bigger than like what it already is. And then I thought about it. I was like, man, like we're all looking for love and happiness, you know, but we're all looking for it, but we find it so hard to give it. But it's so easy to give a smile or a hug or just check in and say, how are you doing? You know? And so I was like, man, why can't we make that louder? And essentially that's where the whole thing about making positivity louder came from, where it's like, just say hello or a smile. Yeah. Like it's so hard. Like, why do we not smile these days? You know, like maybe it's like a fear of judgment, or they might think I'm crazy, or you know, like some insecurity, or this is happening to me. But it's like, just smile, be happy, just enjoy. You know? Yeah.
There's a lot of good in this world, man. People just always look at the bad.
Exactly, and it's so easy for negativity to just you know, like take over or consume you. And I feel like you have to work quite hard. Like what I've been doing personally is every day I've been posting, because I was like, okay, if I'm talking about positivity here, this movement's about positivity, then I also need to be positive myself or work on my own positivity. So every day it's kind of been like a reflection, and I'll chuck it up on my own page, and it'll just be like a learning about what I've learned, but learning to find the positives in my day.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's a lot of hard, like you're saying, the commitment to doing it, but also that it takes hard work to be happy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't. Like it's like you can. It takes a lot of work to also be unhappy as well. It's just that you don't usually just see it all building up.
Yeah.
You know, but like when you're like trying to look for that happiness, it actually takes a lot of time and a lot of work. That's what I've found through doing this, is like not every day is going to be a super happy day.
Yeah.
But I think it's the pursuit to working towards that happiness or positivity that's...
Oh, 100%. It's all about the pursuit, eh? Like, I'm not that excited about reaching day 10,000. I'm more excited about getting to 10,000.
Yeah.
Because once I get to day 10,000, I'll probably be really like, oh, this sucks, it's done. Like, you know, it'll be kind of like, oh, what now?
Yeah.
But the pursuit of getting there, that's the exciting part.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it's just little things in life, eh? It's if you're just looking for huge things every day, you'll think, oh man, nothing good's happening. But if you look at the little things every day, there's always good stuff. Like we woke up this morning.
Exactly.
You know, like, oh man, recently, like a dude reached out to me to film his dream, and then a couple of hours later was literally about to take his life on a cliff.
Whoa.
And I was talking to him for like an hour, trying to convince him not to do it.
Yeah.
And I've never met this dude before. And he was talking about his dream. And then he told me what his dream was. And then he switched to going, but my dream right now is to kill myself. And then I ended up praying with him over DM on Instagram and everything. But, you know, it's just stuff like, but amazing is he was saying the whole time how my project has inspired him.
Yeah.
And might keep him going. So like that, I haven't shared that, but you know, like stuff like that to be like, whoa, okay. Like as tough as life can get, like it could always be tougher. Like, man, like it's the little things, man. Like everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a reason to get up the next day. Even if they don't think they do, there's always a reason to get up the next day. Yeah. The next day could be the day that changes your life.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't like stopped this yet. You know, like it'd be easy for me to go, I've done this for 3 and a bit years and I'm not, you know, it's not massive globally yet. And I could be like, dude, like this ain't working then. You know, if I was only thinking of the numbers, like 1 in a million followers yet. Yeah. And then I could quit. But tomorrow could be the day that Alan's producer sees this and I'm on Alan next week and then it gets to, you know, you never know. It could be tomorrow. And I've got multiple stories like that where, you know, lowest points in my life last year, absolute rock bottom in my life. And I won't go into details, but then the very next day, my life changed drastically in the most craziest way I could experience. And there will come a time where I can share all that. Yeah. But I was literally like rock bottom. Like you'd be like, oh, bro, you're screwed. Yeah, done. And then the next day, it was just like a miracle. So you never know, bro. The next day could be the day.
Exactly, man. I just want to also just thank you so much for sharing that story, man. That's huge. That's like that is.
I haven't reprocessed that yet.
Yeah.
It's
that is that essence, or that for me, when I saw and heard about your project, that is what clicked for me. Do you know what I mean? Like there's so much glam and just all the stuff out there, you know, where it's so easy to consume in social media because we're following these celebrities and seeing people make it. But like that's a life-changing moment, you know, when you realize, and it's in the essence of your project.
Yeah, I probably haven't thought about it, man. Like that actually is probably one of those things that you look back on and go, because of something you're doing, you might have kept someone alive.
Exactly.
And it may have just been talk or whatever, but that could actually
You've got the potential to, or you
like that. Yeah. Like, I guess that's something I haven't reprocessed, man. Wow. Yeah. Thanks.
So moving on, what do you think like, do you think what you're doing is normal? In the sense, what do you think other people in your network, in your community, or the people who are around your age, do you think this is normal for them to be doing this type of thing? Or
I think I've grown to realize it's not normal.
yeah.
To
you
me,
like being
to
uncommon?
me, it's kind of like, why the heck wouldn't everyone just commit their lives to doing something like this?
Yeah.
But I think I've realized, and from response from people, and you get it every day now, this is definitely a crazy thing to do.
Yeah.
You get crazy a lot. Like
Yeah.
Jane Goodall called me crazy in a hotel room, you know, like,
Yeah.
I guess because it's so crazy and outrageous, it's usually like 100% positive response rate when I tell people about it. No matter who it is, if I tell a 6-year-old, if I tell a 90-year-old,
Yeah.
usually the response is, wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It seems to connect to people. It feels like people get it.
Yeah.
You know, like when I was mainly focused on making movies, someone would be like, oh, tell me the plot of your movie at dinner. And you'd be like, oh, you know, it's kind of like a thriller, but kind of like this. It's more psychological. It's about, and you can just see them like, okay, yeah, that sounds, you know, they
Can't invest, right?
Majority
themselves.
of, they kind of don't quite get it. I was like, I'm sure it'll be cool when I see it, or, you know,
Yeah.
but you just 5 seconds pitching this to anyone.
Yeah.
At any situation, it's usually an instant, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Response, which is cool.
Yeah.
I've never done anything in my life before that got such a positive rate at that. But it'd be pretty cool if more people were on crazy, outrageous missions, man. But it probably isn't normal. Maybe I'm not that normal, but I just feel like I'm meant to do this, eh?
Yeah. And what do you think, if your 18-year-old self saw you now, or your 19-year-old self saw you where you are today, what do you think he would be most proud of?
That I'm empathetic now.
Yeah.
I was a bit of a dickhead when I was 18, 19. No, I was selfish as, man. It was all about me and my dream. If my 19-year-old self had saw me 6 months ago,
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh, crap. Is
Yeah.
that really what my life's going to be like in 6 years?
Right.
And then if my 19-year-old self saw me a week after that moment, he'd be like, holy crap, this is insane. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
How quick you can change. But I'm proud that I'm, like, a main thing for me, man, like, I'm proud that, too, I can open up about my faith now, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, at the premiere of Cyrenia, I knew most of the audience went Christian. And the whole time I was like, I had this speech to do. And I was like, thank God, don't forget to thank God. And I didn't thank God because I was too scared they'd laugh, which is outrageous to think they'd laugh at my own premiere.
Yeah.
But I thought they would. I genuinely thought people would judge me. And that bit me up for like 2 years. I was convinced God was done with me. I'd lost my purpose. Okay, I'm not using you anymore. You didn't thank me.
Yeah.
Which again was just silly mindset, but it beat me up for like 2 years. And it was a part of the reason I quit film for 6 months, because I thought I failed my purpose. And then about a year into this, I went on the AM show. And that morning I was like praying. I was like, please help Duncan Garner to ask me what my dream is, because I know I need to be public about this. As freaky as it was, and I was shaking, I was vomiting that morning because I was so scared that he'd asked me what my dream was. But I knew I wanted him to. And then we do the interview, and then at the very end, he's like, oh, Fraser, before you leave, I completely forgot to ask, what's your dream? I said, my dream's to tell the world about God through film, which I reword a little bit now, being a couple of years later. But back then, it was to tell the world about God through film. He said, that's a cool dream. And instantly, all that 2 years went away. And I was like, okay, I'm proud. Like, they're not going to judge me. Like, we all have our own beliefs and faith.
Exactly.
Like, you know?
100%.
It would be so wrong if they judged me off that, you know?
Yeah.
And now I open publicly about it. I talk about it all the time. It's a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
So I would be proud looking forward and going, oh, cool, you still got your faith and you're now proud of it. You're stamping that on you rather than not
solid,
really
man.
talking to people about it.
Yeah. I think I appreciate. I think I can appreciate how you're now open to talk about your faith, because I feel like it is something that is like it is something you can be quite scared to be judged about. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people in our community, because I'm Hindu, been growing up in a Hindu household.
Yeah.
And then also the people in my network around the same age, because we've grown up to do what our parents have told us to do.
Yeah.
Some of these traditions don't really fit with us in Western society, you know, and so for them, they're like, okay, this doesn't work for me. And then they've gone to God, you know, they go to church. And even my close mates that, you know, and for me, I thought about it and I was like, you know, like, who am I to stop you from doing what you want to do and talk about what you want to talk about and believe in what you want to believe in? If that's your path to happiness, you know, like, there's no one path.
Yeah.
And you should be able to speak about what you want to speak about, believe in what you want to believe, and just be you, you know? And so, yeah,
Definitely, man.
I can appreciate, and I do appreciate you being open about your faith. And so my next question is, do you kind of, like, you believe in God?
Yeah.
Do you believe in, like, the universe or law of attraction, or that everything's kind of meant to happen for a reason?
Oh, interesting. No, I definitely believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
I've always believed that. I don't know so much if I believe in, like, karma and stuff like that, but it's more, I definitely believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, so many times where, you know, for instance, I'm going to go film someone's stream, but then, you know, there's been multiple times where I've postponed it just because I couldn't be bothered that day.
Yeah.
Like, being real, you know, you just go, I just can't be bothered today. I'll film someone else's stream that's closer to my house, or, you know, like, so, and then you cancel that person and push it back a few weeks.
Yeah.
But then you meet up with them a few weeks later and something happens and you go, oh, this is why I was actually meant to, but, you know?
Yeah.
There's always, I think I'll be looking for it. I think there's little opportunities in everything, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, not every day that huge drastic things happen, but yeah, I definitely believe, man, everything happens for a reason. Even times where you don't deliver, like you go 70% on an assignment or something and you bomb it, good will come from that.
Yeah.
Even when we screw up, good will come from that. Yes, but I guess maybe I'm very optimistic, so
Where does that come from, the optimism?
I think my parents.
Yeah.
My dad was like a golf pro and everything. He's a pastor now. My mum runs a travel business. Amazingly supportive parents.
Yeah.
So I've always been optimistic. So, yeah. It weirds people out sometimes because
It does,
you
right?
go into low situations where people expect you to be depressed and crying.
Yeah.
And you're smiling and you're positive and they're like, dude, you're weird. Like, what the heck? And you're like, it's just like crap happens. Like, you got either move forward or you get defeated. And of course, there's times where you get defeated for a period, but at the end of the day, you either move forward or you don't. Like, going back to the faith thing, at rock bottom, that's when I found I really had a faith. And I found Jesus as my rock.
Yeah.
But it took me rock bottom to get there.
Yeah.
And I could smile when I lost everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that so much. Do you think you're an idealist?
Explain that more. Like, I know what the word is.
Like, so if you wanted to record someone's dream, someone who you've been wanting to do it, and you knew how you were going to do it, and like, this is the ideal situation, I'm going to be able to, you know, because you've got this optimism with you, like, no matter what, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way. Do you feel like you're like,
oh yeah, man.
that?
I use my imagination massively to be like, oh, okay, I'm filming this person tomorrow. It'd be amazing if this happened, or, you know, I'm definitely 100%, man. Yeah.
And does fear play into it? Where does fear play into this?
Oh, bro, I get scared every day, man. Honestly, you just got to push through fear.
Were you scared coming here?
Not as much.
Yeah.
I guess because we met.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I know. I guess I get scared, but I think, like, it's not every day now that I get sweaty scared. You know, like it's you know, like I've been lucky to film more than 300 celebrities, so I don't get starstruck anymore. But initially, you'd be shaking, and now, you know, you're meeting like You know, you're in Jane Goodall's hotel room and you're not nervous at all. It's like meeting a family member.
Wow.
But fear always comes in, man. But on the other side of fear is always those moments I'm most proud of and excited about. You know, like a story of fear for me. I was at a film premiere and I had a USB of my short films. This was 2013 or something. And I had a USB of my short films in my pocket, which I was wanting to give to someone at the premiere.
Yeah.
A director at the premiere. And we're sitting there, and a few seats in front of me comes in Peter Jackson and sits down.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was going to be the premiere.
So you just had a feeling, or you just knew you wanted to do this?
No, it was another director that I was.
Right.
It was Edgar Wright, another director who I was going to want to give my USB to. And then Peter Jackson sits a couple of seats in front of me, and my mum's like, "Why don't you go up to him right now and give him your USB?" And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. And I was like, I'll do it after.
Yeah.
And that whole movie, I was flipping peeing myself, man. I couldn't even enjoy the movie. I couldn't laugh. It was a comedy. I couldn't even laugh. I was so nervous because I knew I had to do it.
Yeah.
And at the end, as the credits rolled, I just stood up and went, screw it.
Your knees like shaking, legs
I've
weak
never
and
been
everything?
so scared in my life, man.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, petrified. And I just walked up to him, bent down. Lots of people in the area like stopped and looked because it was like quiet because it was the credits. And I just walked up, sat right next to him and said, "Here's a USB of my short films," and I don't even know what the heck I said. And he was like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And I just gave it to him and then walked back to my seat. Nothing came from that at the moment. It might do one day, but nothing came from that. But at least I can now look back and go, I freaking did it.
Exactly, right?
I would have only regretted if I didn't.
Yeah.
And then at the start of 10,000 Dreams, I was at the domestic airport in Auckland, and I was going down to Christchurch with my camera gear, and I was standing in customs, and my camera gear started getting checked, and they started taking all the stuff out. There's a big line behind me. It was kind of embarrassing. I was like, man, I really hope no one in the film industry is behind me right now. This would be so embarrassing because they're taking everything out. And I turn around and James Cameron's behind me. Director of Titanic and Avatar, Terminator, everything. I was like, oh, man. And I that was the most starstruck I think I've been because it was no prep
right?
for that at all. So gear gets da-da-da, and I go take my camera, take my gear, and I go stand next to customs. And I'm like, okay, if he walks past me, I'll go up to him. And he walks out, and he goes the other way, and I just walk off. I was too scared to do it. I was way too scared to do it. And now looking back, I only regret that. And I'm like, you idiot. Like, what's the worst that would have happened?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been such a cool story.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's still a good story because it's now a story of, it's the story of regret.
The learning,
whereas
right?
the Peter Jackson one's the story of rejection, but at least I did it.
Yeah.
And I don't look back at that and regret. I look back on that and go, sweet. No regrets. I did it.
Yeah.
Nothing came from it. All good. You know? So regret is way worse than rejection. That's something I've learnt.
Do you feel like you're what's the word I had? Do you think you're relentless or obsessive about what you're doing?
I think I can be more. I think I'm pretty relentless and obsessive.
Right.
To the point that's got me to a pretty cool place of this.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've only, to be honest, up to this point, I feel like I've only given 70% to 10,000 Dreams.
Yeah.
Only now is it starting to become more my full time, and I'm starting to put way more into it. But I've probably only given like 60%.
Solid, man.
And it's cool because it's like, wow, that took me to where I am right now with stuff I can't even talk about right now that's opening up, which is crazy. But it's like, man, imagine what 100% could do.
Exactly.
You know? So I want to be way more relentless, and that's the challenge to myself this year. Yeah.
And so in terms of like your daily routine, how does that work? Like, how do you keep yourself like alive? Mm-hmm. But then also, how do you also keep the project afloat in terms of filming people? And then also, how do you get celebrities?
Yeah.
You know, what's involved in the project?
I'm pretty I like to think I'm relentless with my daily routine. Like I wake up 4:30 a.m. every morning. I love discipline. So I love waking up early, going for like a 13K run. And then my mornings will be heavily around like getting the important stuff done. Because that's when I'm wired in the morning. I also run a film business. So we do commercials and, there's lots of other stuff. And people think, 10,000 Dreams is just filming one dream a day and that's it. Like take you half an hour a day. How's this a full-time thing? But it's not, because we're chasing book deals right now, films, documentaries, all that. Yeah. It's emailing thousands of people. It's, traveling, 3 hours to film someone for 30 seconds. It's, it takes a lot. There's a lot in it. How do I get celebrities? That's a mix of guessing emails, hustling into rooms, networking, and being freaking lucky.
You believe in luck?
Yeah, but I think the harder you work, the luckier you get. I believe in that more. Right. 100%. I think the luck's involved, but you can make your own luck. Yeah. I don't think luck's like just for a few people. The more emails I send to celebrities, the more luck I get with getting. If I send 1,000 emails off, I'm gonna get a couple coming back saying yes. If I only send 10 emails off, you'll get none of them, maybe one. Right. So it's the more you do, the more lucky you'll get. Yeah. But it's helped. Like, it's a lot easier now to get celebrities. The first year was a lot harder. I remember, day 5, I got a local MP. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got a local MP in my project. And I've only like a week in. Yeah. I was like, wow, this is badass, man. This is crazy. Yeah. And then, I'm about to do 6 prime ministers now, so. Yeah. And it's networking, bro. Like, I've been so lucky meeting people who happen to be good friends with crazy big names, but also now it's like a domino effect, done like 300 celebrities. It's way easier to get indoors now because you've got the credibility. It's proven itself but yeah, man, it's fun guessing emails, like I've been very lucky. Like a story I like to share. And I haven't filmed any of these dreams yet, but I'm going to soon. When I was in America last year, I really wanted to get Jessica Alba's dream, like really badly. And so I contacted her managers, publicists, agents, all came back saying no, as they always do. Don't really go through agents and managers. You always get no's. So I was like, okay, I will. She started a business with a dude called Christopher. So I was like, how about I guess Christopher's email? He'll be easier to get in touch with. So I guessed his email and said, hey, I'd love to film you and Jessica's dream. Yep. I just said Jessica. And he came back to me and he's like, hey, love this. Me and my wife, Jessica, would love to be involved. But I knew Jessica Alba wasn't his wife. So I was like, oh no. But I was like, okay, I'll film Jessica. That's sweet. And then I looked into who his wife was, Jessica. And not only is she one of the stars of Grey's Anatomy, she's also Steven Spielberg's daughter, who's like my hero in life. Yeah. And he's in my top 3 to get by 2044 of dreams. 2044. Yeah. So by the time I finish this, it's 3? Spielberg, Justin Bieber, and Roger Federer. It's the 3 people to get by the time I finish this. Yeah. Anyway, I saw oh my gosh, what a lucky accident that was. Yeah. And anyway, I ended up guessing Jessica Alba's husband's email, and now I'm going to film their dream soon too. So it's luck. That's luck, but it's only because I put in the effort to guess the emails and kind of put in a bit of the mahi, the hustle,
man. Yeah.
So it's stuff like guessing, Ricky Gervais's email. Yeah. And, having it come back going, how did you get this email? And go, I just guessed it.
Does that then pay off? Make its way forward, right? Man, you actually put in a bit of work here.
Yeah, I think people respect it, creativity, man. People have always respected when you kind of go. But stuff like Bill English, I got his dream because I knew he was in an elevator. So the second he came out the elevator, I jumped at him. The second time I got Jacinda, I kind of played in. I was more at like a press conference, and I kind of was in there with the news crews, kind of pretending like I was a part of it, like a reporter and everything. Yeah. To get a dream,
And you just yell out, "What's your dream?" Or?
No, I got it as she was going to the car.
Okay,
but cool. I did that to kind of be in the
blend
environment,
in, right?
Put myself in the environment. Yeah. So it's just fun, man. Like they're the stories that I love, that are like it's so fun trying to get people. And I guess that's a big picture mindset I have of like, if you tell me, I bet you can't get Barack Obama's dream by the end of the year, I'll flip and go out of my way and do whatever it takes to get it. When it's too easy, I think my mindset naturally goes to like, not trying that hard. I love like the challenges of, opening up massive doors, and I've been very lucky so far.
Yeah.
But
so that love for that challenge or that hard work, has that come from your upbringing? Where'd you find that?
I think definitely like an element, man. I think everything comes from a lot of our upbringing, eh?
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from because my brothers aren't quite like that.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe it's part of my DNA. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love being different. Sometimes I go too far down. Up until like a few months ago, I was drinking fluffies.
Fluffy. What's a fluffy?
Like what the babies drink at cafes, like the fluff milk, the fluffy milk, foamy milk.
Oh yeah,
it's like what babies have basically. It's like
that's nice, eh? Yeah. Like the top of the hot chocolate or coffee.
It's just like the little one. It's like
can you get that?
Yeah, it's like 50 cents. It's for like to give to babies basically.
Oh man!
But I was like drinking that, and I was ordering adult fluffies and everything. So I up until recently, and I don't really drink alcohol, but I didn't drink alcohol for like 8 years. I just.
Yep.
I like being different. I've never done drugs. There's something about me that just
I'm looking in the mirror, man.
Yeah, I do.
Same thing. Never drunk alcohol. Never done drugs.
Yeah.
Just not into it. And
yeah, I'd rather be the guy that's never done drugs than the guy that
takes work, eh?
Done drugs. Yeah, it's harder to do that, but I don't know. There's something about me that I like being different, and I like doing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's something I was going to ask. I don't know if it might come back, but we'll keep moving on anyway. Before we head into the final two questions,
sure.
Is there anything else you want to say? Like, have I missed anything, or is there something you really wanted to share?
I don't know, man. There's lots we can go. There's whole 3 years of journey stories there, but I don't know, man. Whatever you want to. Is there an area you kind of want to?
Nah, like I feel like we've covered.
Yeah, I feel like we've covered the base.
I covered the base, and what I really wanted to do was to get into the essence of what your project was, because I feel like that is the most. That's like the human part of your thing, right? That connection. Yeah, what is the human connection like in your project? Like when you meet people, what is that like for you?
I think it's cool, man. It's cool because now when you meet with people, it's usually they've reached out to me. That's the usual situation now when I film people.
Yeah.
So it's cool that there's an interest in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, so a lot of the time it's the same conversation, a lot of the same questions, but it's cool because now I just go into people's dreams. Like I love talking about people's dreams. Like at parties now, that's the question I ask people. And I'm genuinely interested.
Do you find your whole life's just about dreams? Like whenever you're talking about anything to anyone, you just want to ask what their dream is? If I'm in a
group situation and someone brings up the word dream.
This is what my question was, sorry.
Like say you're at, and someone brings up the word like dream out of context to what I'm doing. Yeah. Everyone will always look at me and be like, oh, what's your dream? What's your dream? Like it really has kind of become a thing now and it's weird. I say that at parties, I ask people what their dreams are, but I do, but I word it differently. Right. So I go, oh, so what's like your goal in life? Because I don't want to be like, oh, what's your dream? Because then they'll be, oh, you just mean, and then whenever I say, so what's your goal? They mean, oh, do you mean like your dream? Yeah. And I don't know why I try to like hide it or word it. I just feel like I don't want to keep talking about it to be like, oh yeah, I'm the dream guy. But it definitely is. It's funny, and yeah. And
I can relate.
I love the banter of people going, oh Fraser, what's your dream? I do love that banter. It's funny. I mean, it's better than people not caring and not ever saying anything. Hey? But yeah,
I can relate to that because whenever I'm out, whenever I'm talking to someone or I've met someone, I want to get to know what they do, what they're about, and then if I find that they're doing something that they don't like doing, I'm like, man, like, what are you doing? Come on.
But people always light up when you talk to them about their dreams.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm genuinely fascinated when people just talk about their dreams. I love it so much. It's the most interesting question I find you can talk to someone about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, mean, man. All right, let's close it up with our final two questions. So what we ask every time we
been dreading
wrap
this
up,
last
man.
question, man. I know what it is. I've been dreading. I'm like, what the heck am I going to say?
Fraser, what do you think it means to be human?
Oh, man. I have no idea.
And there,
I've been thinking about this all day. I'm like,
you can talk about that too. You know, like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, this is tough because I guess
yeah.
this is how a lot of people feel when I ask them what's their dream.
Yeah.
It genuinely is like, man, it's tough. I don't know what it is to be human. I guess I can only relate it to my experience.
Exactly.
Of what it means for me to
100%.
be a human.
Yep. That's what we're looking for.
The
as
most
well.
human I ever feel is when I'm pursuing my dream and I'm doing what I feel I was born to do. That's when I feel human and I feel alive.
Yep.
When I don't feel alive, it's because I'm usually going against what my dream is. So I find like if I'm making a corporate film and just filming interviews for like a business, I feel like that's the worst thing. I'd rather be cleaning toilets. Yep. Because essentially you're living your dream. You're making money doing a film, but you're not. It's so painful. So you're in the space of your dream, but you're not really doing what you're called to do. And you don't feel human. Or I feel like I'm counting down the seconds.
Wow.
But when you're truly doing something that you're like, this is why I'm born. This is what I'm meant to be doing. I feel so human. So to me, and it's probably, a bit obvious and cliche to say, but to dream would be to be human now.
I love that, man. I love that. You've described yourself and I think your essence in a complete line.
Thank you, man.
That's solid. And what does it mean to be now?
Oh, man. Ooh. Oh man, it seems so obvious to say stuff like to be present and all that. I know, being grateful.
Cool.
Yeah. Being grateful about things like this and like little things, man. Just like every day there's blessings, man.
Yeah.
I just think being grateful of just every day. And it's so easy to say. And I've got to get better at it. But if you look around in the now and you really just embrace life and be present, you'll be grateful and you'll be able to see things.
Yeah. Cool, man.
That answers it.
No, I love that. That is, I feel like that is so you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate that so much. And I don't know if we've covered it or not, but what is your dream?
My dream?
Yeah.
My dream right now, man, is to help the world dream.
Cool.
But I also want to direct kids' films. I want to design board games. I want to write kid books. But I want to help the world dream, man. That's the base of everything I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for your time, your energy and like presence in the room, for opening up and being vulnerable as well.
Thank you, man.
That is so human, like to be able to connect and to share.
Yeah.
So I really want to thank you for coming and sharing who you
pleasure,
are.
Man. Thank you so much.
And for your work and what you're doing as well. Your life mission, man, that's huge. To say, I want to do this. I think that takes a lot of courage and strength.
Thank you, bro.
And I look forward to seeing where you're going, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate this.
100%. You've like everyone I talk to, I'm like, man, you need to see this guy. You need to see this guy. Like it excites me so much when I see and hear your dream. Whenever I see anything you're doing, man, it's just like, oh my God, I love this. This is like you're being the essence of the human, of what you are. You're doing everything you want to do, man. Like,
thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Oh, man. It's mutual. Thank you so much. Where can people find you?
Instagram would be the best place, man.
Yep.
My name, Fraser Grut, or 10,000 Dreams.
Cool.
That's the best place to get me at.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Whether you're listening, whether you're watching out there, I hope you've taken something away from our discussion today. I know I have. And again, I really just want to thank Fraser. We don't dream, maybe just because we're not open to it. But yeah, maybe think about what your dream is. What do you want to do in life? What makes you happy? What I wanted to get out from this podcast was for your message to communicate through, you know, and that as like where we live right now, we have the ability to dream and be who we want to be. So if there's one person who's sitting there, who's watching or listening, and for them to think, man, you know, like I could do this.
Yeah.
That
would be amazing.
That would be amazing. That'd be it for me. This is just, yeah.
Thank you so much, Fro.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know the drill. If you know of anyone who you feel like could benefit from this, then please do share it forward to them. That's all we ask. Just share and make the word of positivity get louder. And until next time, be human, be now.
Brilliant. Dude, that was fun.
That was epic, eh?
Yeah, bro. Thank you, dude.
Oh, my pleasure, man.